On today's episode, we've got the latest updates on the past, present, and future of Tesla's network of Gigafactory manufacturing plants, new battery production at Giga Berlin, a milestone for Giga Texas, Shanghai is back and better than ever, plus we dig into the latest news on Tesla's expansion into Canada. So, let's get going. Statements coming out of Germany this week are clearing up some misconceptions that have been making the rounds about Tesla's plans for battery production and expansion at Giga Berlin. We always knew that the plan for Giga Berlin was to build the Model Y with 4680 battery cells, structural packs, and front-end Giga castings, making it the most advanced Model Y design to date. That didn't really pan out the way it was supposed to. Production issues with the 4680 held back the entire process, and the factory began to manufacture with the standard 2170 cells and skateboard packs. We've been anticipating a transition to 4680 production at this factory, but so far there has been no indication about when that would happen, and that got people doubting that it would even happen at all. Mayor Arna Cristiani confirmed that a planned battery plant at the Gigafactory site, part of a reported 100-hectare expansion plan, is still on the table. The proposed battery plant would produce cells for Tesla vehicles built at Giga Berlin and create an estimated 2,000 jobs in the region. This is part of an ongoing strategy for Tesla, which has prioritized moving as much of the production loop in-house as possible to save on transportation costs and boost efficiency. But earlier reporting seemed to point to the expansion being on hold for a number of reasons, and that the municipal council agenda had struck any mention of this huge construction plan off their schedule. This was based on an article from the Wall Street Journal, who are usually a pretty reliable source for news. The WSJ reported that Tesla would shelve their plans to manufacture 4680 cells at Giga Berlin and move the equipment to the United States instead, allegedly to help the company obtain more tax credits under the new Inflation Reduction Act. This is according to, quote, people familiar with the matter, which is a massive red flag in any so-called news story. Now, on one hand, that might make sense, as the United States is now doling out massive tax credits for any battery cells and packs that are manufactured in the country. On the other hand, Tesla already has plenty of capital to work with, and it hardly seems worthwhile to kneecap your brand new German factory just to cut down on a United States tax bill. Then, local German news outlets piled on by reporting that Tesla's battery plant expansion had been removed from the local council agenda. Very dramatic. But Mayor Cristiani cleared that up by saying that he didn't remove Tesla from the agenda because they were never even on it to begin with. Tesla had applied for its Giga Berlin extension in May, and so the application was being discussed by more relevant community groups before it would be able to be brought before the city council. The confusion could have originated from Tesla's comments, saying that the company intends on focusing their efforts on US production, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are going to slow down anywhere else. And especially considering battery manufacturing equipment has already been installed in Giga Berlin, it would be a very odd choice for Tesla to put their production plans there on hold. Lately, I've been doing a lot of painting around the house, and it's been a lot more fun while listening to podcasts. It makes the work much easier, which is why I'm excited to share today's sponsor, Raycon. Household chores like dishes and laundry all become much more enjoyable when you're listening to your favorite music or podcasts, and Raycon's optimized gel tips have the perfect in-ear fit so they never budge, and with 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, you'll never have to worry about running out of battery. Raycon has everything you need at your fingertips with touch features that are really handy. Increase the volume by tapping the right logo or decrease by tapping the left. I like to use the noise isolation mode while working in a busy area. That way I can focus without being interrupted by outside noises. To switch between awareness mode and noise isolation, just hold the right logo for 3 seconds to switch. I love my Raycons and use them every day. If you click the link in my description box or go to buyraycon.com/TeslaSpace, you'll get 15% off your Raycon purchase. They come in at half the price of other premium earbuds, so I highly recommend getting a pair. On September 17th, Tesla posted on Twitter that the Texas Gigafactory had reached 10,000 Model Y vehicles produced. This is obviously great news and very impressive for a factory that only started production in April, and we know things were a bit rocky from the get-go. The initial Model Y rollout with the 4680 cells and structural battery packs didn't go according to plan, resulting in low delivery numbers early on, and Elon Musk joking that the factory had been nothing but a giant money furnace. Luckily, those fortunes have turned from a money furnace to a money printer. With 2170 Model Ys now rolling off the assembly line, volume is expected to ramp up to 5,000 cars per week by the end of this year. Upgrades at Tesla's Giga Shanghai facility are complete, and the facility can now begin to ramp up production to its goal of 2,200 vehicles per day. In a recent statement published by the government of Shanghai, it was confirmed that the expansion of the factory was complete and the new production lines would be tested from September 19th until November 30th. The facility's new upgrades are expected to allow for a steep ramp up of production, but also of employment. It's been estimated that Tesla would be able to hire more than 4,000 additional employees once the production line kicks into high gear, which is good news for everyone. Employment certainly helps the economy, but Giga Shanghai was one of the first examples of Tesla's attempts to move supply chains to localized areas in and around their factories. Tesla China's VP Grace Tao has mentioned that Giga Shanghai's supply chain has been about 95% localized, so any increase in production at the factory would mean a bump to the supply chain's business as well. And that's not even considering that Giga Shanghai has been one of the most important factories in Tesla's global efforts. As the company has worked hard at ramping up new factories in Europe and North America, Giga Shanghai has acted as Tesla's main export hub to keep delivery numbers going strong. But the facility has had a rough year, with a major shutdown of production occurring in late March as China put some very strict COVID fighting measures in place, and of course this most recent shutdown for upgrades, which started in early July and aimed to be complete around early August originally. Despite those setbacks, Giga Shanghai broke production records back in June, and Tesla is expecting that by the end of 2022, the factory should be able to produce almost 5,000 vehicles daily. If anyone can hit that mark, it'll be the team at Giga Shanghai. Earlier last week, Canada's Minister of Innovation, François-Philippe Champagne, paid a visit to Tesla's factory in Fremont, California. Obviously, this has set off a whole new round of speculation about Tesla expanding into the Canadian market with a new Gigafactory and maybe even a resource extraction deal. Minister Champagne said in a video post on Twitter that he was touring the manufacturing facility, but also meeting with senior management to discuss how their vehicles would operate in Canada's harsh winters. Though we should note that Tesla vehicles have been operating just fine in Canada for a while now, so the meeting was likely more about the future of Tesla's business relationship with Canada than anything else. This visit marks the fourth meeting now between Tesla and the Canadian government inside of the last 6 months, strengthening the idea that something more concrete is brewing. During this time, Tesla has also been more specifically lobbying the Ontario government, the most populated province in Canada, to build an advanced manufacturing facility here, as well as gain access to Canadian mineral deposits. Those include nickel, lithium, cobalt, and graphite, all critical battery materials. In fact, while Minister Champagne was touring the Fremont facility, Tesla was advancing their Ontario strategy by hiring a senior Canadian government official from the area. Alim Ladakh has reportedly been hired to lead something called Government Policy, Critical Minerals, and Supply Chain at Tesla. Ladakh is a Toronto-based geological engineer who has spent his career analyzing Ontario's mines and advising the government on their use. Before joining Tesla, his position was as a senior mineral economist and battery minerals advisor for the Ontario Ministry of Mines. Given Ladakh's expertise and his experience with the Ontario government, this is a pretty smart move by Tesla. Ladakh should be able to use his contacts in the government to ease negotiations and identify the most efficient supply chains for Tesla to take advantage of. Now, there still is a little ambiguity about whether Tesla will ultimately choose Ontario or neighboring Quebec as the site for their first Canadian factory, but it's quite clear that both parties want this to happen. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it. That is so important for getting our content out to more people. If you enjoy the content, then you'd probably also enjoy our weekly newsletter, so sign up with the link down below at theteslaspace.com. A huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who are listed on the screen now. You help us make the best content we can, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.